Have you ever looked at a leader, perhaps in your workplace, your community, or even on the world stage, and felt something crucial was missing? Despite their skills, their power, or their charisma, there's a disconnect, a lack of genuine influence that inspires. You see the title, the position, but not the true essence of leadership. This feeling is more common than we think, a silent question echoing in many minds. What truly makes a leader effective and, more importantly, respected and followed willingly? We often associate leadership with decisive action, strategic brilliance, or a commanding presence. These are undoubtedly useful attributes. Yet history and our own experiences show us leaders who possess all these but still fail to unite, to uplift, to create lasting positive change. Their teams may comply, but they don't commit. Their influence might be felt, but it isn't cherished. What is this elusive element, this keystone that, when absent, makes the entire arch of leadership unstable? The search for this missing quality isn't new. Millennia ago, the great philosopher Confucius pondered deeply on the nature of governance, social harmony, and the character of an ideal leader. He observed rulers, officials, and common people, seeking the principles that bind a society together and allow it to flourish. His insights, born from a time of great upheaval, offer a timeless perspective on what many leaders today are indeed missing, often without realizing its profound importance. Confucius identified a core quality, a foundational virtue, that he believed was paramount for anyone in a position of influence. It wasn't about tactical genius or eloquent speech primarily, but something far more fundamental to our human experience. He called this quality Ren, a concept so rich it's often translated as benevolence, humaneness, perfect virtue, or goodness. This, he argued, is the bedrock upon which all true leadership must be built. So what is this Ren, this humaneness that Confucius championed? Imagine it as a deep, unwavering empathy, a genuine care for the well-being of others. It's the ability to see the world through another's eyes, to feel their struggles, and to act with their best interests at heart. It's not a sentimental weakness, but a profound strength that connects a leader to their people on a fundamental human level. This is the one quality leaders are often missing. Why is Ren so critical? Because leadership at its heart is about people. You can have the best strategy, the most innovative ideas, but if you cannot connect with, understand, and inspire the people you lead, your efforts will inevitably fall short. Ren is the conduit for that connection. It transforms a group of individuals into a cohesive, motivated team, working not just because they have to, but because they want to, for a leader they trust and respect. Think of a leader you've truly admired. Was it solely their intelligence that impressed you? Or was it also their kindness, their fairness, their ability to make you feel seen and valued? Leaders who embody Ren don't just command, they cultivate. They don't just direct, they develop. They understand that their success is intrinsically linked to the success and flourishing of those they guide. The absence of Ren, however, is stark. It breeds environments of fear, mistrust, and disengagement. When leaders prioritize power over people, or personal gain over collective good, the results are often cynicism and stagnation. Orders might be followed, but initiative dies. Compliance is achieved, but loyalty is lost. This void is where many leadership challenges truly begin. Confucius taught that Ren begins with self-cultivation. A leader cannot extend genuine humaneness to others if they haven't nurtured it within themselves. This involves introspection, a commitment to ethical principles, and a constant effort to understand one's own impact on others. It's about polishing the mirror of the self so that it can reflect the humanity of those around you with clarity and compassion. One of the first manifestations of Ren in leadership is a genuine desire to understand others. This goes beyond superficial listening. It's about seeking to grasp their perspectives, their motivations, their challenges, and their aspirations. A leader with Ren doesn't assume, they inquire. They don't dictate, they dialogue. This empathetic understanding is the soil in which trust and collaboration can grow. Consider a leader who takes the time to ask, "How are you truly doing?" and then genuinely waits for and listens to the answer. This simple act, when sincere, can be incredibly powerful. It communicates that the individual matters, that their experience is valued. This is Ren in action, small gestures that build bridges of human connection, often overlooked in the rush for results. Another facet of Ren is benevolence, not just a passive goodwill, but an active desire for the flourishing of others. A leader embodying Ren genuinely wants their team members to succeed, to grow, and to find fulfillment in their work. They create opportunities for development and celebrate the achievements of others, understanding that a rising tide lifts all boats. This is a stark contrast to leaders who see their subordinates merely as tools. This benevolence isn't about being soft or avoiding difficult decisions. Rather, it means that even when tough choices are necessary, they are made with careful consideration for the human impact. A leader with Ren will communicate with transparency and compassion, seeking to mitigate harm and support those affected. Their authority is tempered with a deep sense of responsibility for the people under their care. Confucius also emphasized the importance of Li, Chinese letter, propriety, rights, or proper conduct, as an outward expression of inner Ren. For a leader, this means acting with integrity, courtesy, and respect in all interactions. It's about setting a moral example where their actions consistently align with their words and the values they espouse. This consistency builds profound trust. Imagine a workplace where politeness, respect, and ethical behavior are not just written in a code of conduct, but are actively modeled by leadership every single day. This creates a culture where people feel safe, valued, and more willing to contribute their best. This is the power of Li, fueled by an underlying Ren, shaping the very atmosphere of an organization. A key Confucian principle related to Ren is Shu, Chinese letter, often translated as reciprocity or the silver rule. Do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. For a leader, this means constantly considering how their decisions and actions would feel if they were on the receiving end. It's a powerful check against arbitrary uses of power and a guide towards fairness. Before implementing a new policy, a leader with Ren might ask, how would I feel if this were applied to me? Is it fair? Is it considerate? This empathetic projection helps to ensure that decisions are not only efficient or strategic, but also just and humane. It fosters a sense of equity and strengthens the leader's moral authority. Leaders who lack Ren often operate from a place of self-interest, imposing demands or creating conditions they themselves would find intolerable. This disconnect inevitably erodes trust and morale. The principle of Shu, rooted in humaneness, serves as a vital corrective, reminding leaders that they are part of the same human fabric as those they lead. Furthermore, Confucius believed that a leader with Ren is committed to the rectification of names, Chinese letter, zhengeming. This means that names and reality should correspond. If you are called a leader, you must act like a true leader. Your title must match your conduct. Words and actions must be in harmony. This is about profound integrity. When a leader says they value their team but their actions show indifference, the name leader becomes hollow. Ren demands authenticity. It requires that a leader embodies the virtues they claim to uphold. This congruity between word and deed is magnetic. It draws people in and inspires deep loyalty, far more than empty pronouncements ever could. A leader steeped in Ren also understands the importance of continuous learning and self-improvement, not just in skills, but in character. They are humble enough to acknowledge their own imperfections and dedicated enough to work on them. This journey of self-cultivation is not for personal glory, but to become a better instrument of service to others. This commitment to growth inspires those around them. When a team sees their leader striving to be better, it creates a culture where learning and development are valued for everyone. The leader, through their own example, shows that mastery is a journey, not a destination, and that virtue is built through consistent effort. So, how does this ancient wisdom of Ren translate into practical actions for leaders today, in our fast-paced, often impersonal world? The principles remain strikingly relevant. It begins with making a conscious choice to prioritize human connection and empathetic understanding in every interaction. It's about seeing the person behind the role. One practical step is to cultivate active listening. This means not just waiting for your turn to speak, but truly hearing what others are saying, both verbally and non-verbally. Ask clarifying questions. Paraphrase to ensure understanding. Show through your attention that their input is genuinely valued. This is a fundamental expression of respect and Ren. Another is to consciously practice empathy. Before making a decision that affects your team, take a moment to imagine yourself in their position. How would this impact them? What concerns might they have? This empathetic lens can significantly alter your approach and lead to more considerate and ultimately more effective outcomes. Make an effort to acknowledge and appreciate the contributions of others, no matter how small. A sincere thank you, specific praise for a job well done, or public recognition of effort can have an immense impact on morale and motivation. Ren encourages us to see and affirm the value in each individual. When giving feedback, especially constructive criticism, do so with kindness and a genuine desire to help the person grow. Frame it not as an attack, but as an observation aimed at development. Confucius believed that correction, when delivered with Ren, is a gift. The goal is to build up, not to tear down. Prioritize the well-being of your team. This might mean advocating for better resources, being mindful of workload, encouraging work-life balance, or simply fostering a supportive and psychologically safe environment. A leader with Ren understands that people thrive when they feel cared for and secure. Be accessible and approachable. Ren breaks down unnecessary barriers of hierarchy. While maintaining respect for roles, a humane leader is not aloof or intimidating. They create an atmosphere where team members feel comfortable raising concerns, sharing ideas, or seeking guidance. Uphold fairness and justice in all your dealings. Avoid favoritism. Apply rules and standards consistently. When mistakes happen, focus on solutions and learning rather than blame. A commitment to equity is a powerful demonstration of Ren, building trust and a sense of security within the team. Share information transparently whenever possible. Uncertainty breeds anxiety and mistrust. Keeping your team informed about goals, changes, and challenges, even difficult news, when delivered with compassion, respects their intelligence and their role in the collective effort. Ren values openness over opacity. Take responsibility. A leader with Ren doesn't shift blame when things go wrong. They own their part in failures, learn from them, and focus on moving forward. Conversely, they are quick to share credit for successes. This humility and accountability are hallmarks of true, humane leadership. Encourage and support the growth of individuals on your team. Identify their strengths and potential, and provide opportunities for them to develop new skills and take on greater responsibilities. A leader with Ren acts as a mentor and a champion for their people's advancement. Foster a culture of mutual respect and collaboration. Actively discourage gossip, negativity, or divisive behavior. Promote teamwork and celebrate collective achievements. Ren seeks harmony and constructive relationships, understanding that the strength of the wolf is the pack. Remember the principle of reciprocity. Treat others as you would wish to be treated. This simple guide, when consistently applied, can transform your leadership. It fosters empathy, fairness, and a deep sense of shared humanity, which is the very essence of Ren. Cultivating Ren is not a one-time task but an ongoing practice, a continuous journey of self-reflection and conscious effort. It requires patience with oneself and with others. There will be moments of falling short, but the commitment to return to these principles is what matters. The impact of a leader who embodies Ren is profound. They don't just achieve targets, they build loyalty. They don't just manage, they inspire. They create environments where people feel valued, respected, and motivated to contribute their very best, fostering not just productivity, but genuine human flourishing. This humaneness, this Ren, is what bridges the gap between a person in authority and a true leader. It is the quality that transforms mere compliance into enthusiastic commitment, and a group of employees into a dedicated, thriving community. It truly is the one quality so many leaders are missing, and the one with the greatest power to transform. Confucius believed that if a ruler is upright and humane, the people will naturally follow, and the state will be well ordered without the need for excessive laws or coercion. The leader's character is the most powerful force. This insight is as true for a CEO or a team lead today as it was for an emperor then. When Ren is present, there's a palpable sense of trust. Team members trust their leader to have their best interests at heart, to be fair, and to act with integrity. This trust is the currency of genuine influence, far more valuable than any authority granted by a title. Leaders without Ren often rely on control, fear, or manipulation to get things done. While these tactics might yield short-term results, they are corrosive in the long run, destroying morale, innovation, and loyalty. Ren offers a more sustainable and ultimately more powerful path to leadership effectiveness. Consider the atmosphere in a team led by someone with Ren. There's likely more open communication, a greater willingness to take risks and share ideas, and a stronger sense of collective ownership. People feel psychologically safe to be themselves and contribute fully, knowing they are valued. The development of Ren requires introspection. Ask yourself, how do my actions affect others? Am I leading with empathy and compassion? Am I consistent in my words and deeds? Where can I improve in showing genuine care for my team? This self-awareness is the starting point for growth. Don't mistake Ren for weakness or an inability to make hard decisions. True humaneness is courageous. It means having the courage to care, the courage to be ethical even when it's difficult, and the courage to put people first. It is strength of character, not a lack of resolve. Confucius taught that society is a web of relationships, and the quality of these relationships determines the health of the whole. A leader who cultivates Ren strengthens these relational bonds, creating a more resilient, harmonious, and productive organization or community. Each act of humaneness ripples outward. The pursuit of Ren is not about achieving perfection. It's about intention and consistent effort. Every leader will have moments where they could have shown more empathy or understanding. The key is to learn from these moments and recommit to the path of humane leadership. When leaders operate with Ren, they naturally attract and retain talented individuals. People want to work for and with leaders who respect them, care about their growth, and create a positive environment. Humaneness becomes a competitive advantage. The challenge for many modern leaders is the immense pressure for immediate results, often at the expense of human considerations. Confucius would argue that this is short-sighted. Investing in Ren in people is the surest path to sustainable, long-term success and flourishing. Ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave as a leader? Will it be measured only in numbers and achievements, or also in the positive impact I had on the lives of the people I led? Ren helps to build a legacy of meaning and positive influence. So this quality of Ren, this deep humaneness, empathy, and benevolence is not just a philosophical ideal. It is a practical and powerful foundation for effective leadership. It is the element that, when present, elevates a manager to a mentor, a boss to a true leader. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity in every individual. When leaders see their team members not as cogs in a machine, but as whole human beings with their own hopes, fears, and aspirations, their approach to leadership fundamentally changes for the better. Ren facilitates this recognition. The philosopher Mencius, a follower of Confucius, famously said that all humans have hearts that are not unfeeling toward others. Ren is the cultivation of this innate capacity for compassion. Leaders are not exempt. They too can and should nurture this fundamental human quality. Think about the ripple effect. A leader who treats their team with Ren often inspires those team members to treat each other and their own subordinates or customers with greater kindness and respect. Humaneness is contagious in the best possible way. This isn't about abandoning accountability or high standards. Leaders with Ren can and do hold people accountable, but they do so from a place of support and a desire for growth, rather than from a place of criticism or blame. The intention behind the accountability matters. One very simple way to start cultivating Ren is to make a daily intention to perform one small act of kindness or appreciation for someone on your team, without expecting anything in return. These small acts compound over time, building a stronger, more positive culture. Leaders who are missing Ren often create environments where people feel like they are just numbers, easily replaceable. This fosters a transactional, rather than relational, atmosphere. Ren shifts the focus to building genuine, lasting connections. The beauty of Ren is that it is universally understood and appreciated. It transcends cultural barriers and organizational structures. At our core, we all respond positively to being treated with genuine care, respect, and understanding. Ultimately, Confucius's wisdom reminds us that leadership is a profound human responsibility. It is not merely a position of power, but an opportunity to positively influence lives and contribute to the greater good. Ren is the moral compass that guides this sacred duty. So, as you reflect on your own leadership or the leadership you observe around you, ask, is Ren present? Is there a foundation of humaneness, empathy, and genuine care? If not, what small step can be taken today to begin cultivating it? The journey to becoming a leader rich in Ren is lifelong. It requires humility, persistence, and a sincere desire to connect with and uplift others. But it is a journey that enriches not only those being led, but the leader themselves, imbuing their work with deeper meaning and purpose. Many leadership programs focus on strategy, finance, or operations. While essential, they often overlook this crucial human element. Confucius reminds us that without Ren, even the most skilled strategist may fail to inspire the hearts of their people, which is where true commitment lies. Consider the energy in a workplace where Ren is prevalent. It's likely more vibrant, more collaborative, and less stressed. People feel empowered to bring their whole selves to work, knowing that their humanity is valued as much as their productivity. This is the environment that Ren fosters. A leader who practices Ren is not afraid to be vulnerable, to admit mistakes, or to show their human side. This authenticity, far from diminishing their authority, actually strengthens it by making them more relatable and trustworthy. People connect with genuine humanity. The opposite of Ren in leadership isn't necessarily malice, but often indifference or a narrow focus on purely transactional outcomes. It's forgetting that organizations are made of people, each with their own story, struggles, and potential. Ren brings that human element back to the forefront. When faced with a difficult interpersonal situation, a leader guided by Ren will approach it with a desire for understanding and resolution, not conflict. They will seek common ground and strive for solutions that respect the dignity of all involved. The power of Ren is subtle yet immense. It doesn't shout for attention. It quietly builds foundations of trust, loyalty, and mutual respect that can weather any storm. It's the invisible architecture of strong, resilient teams and organizations. So, the one quality leaders are missing, according to Confucius, is not a complex skill or a rare talent, but this fundamental human virtue, Ren. It is accessible to all who are willing to cultivate it through conscious effort and sincere intention. By embracing Ren, leaders can transform their impact from merely managing tasks to genuinely inspiring human potential. They can create workplaces that are not only productive but also fulfilling, supportive, and deeply human. This is the promise and power of leading with humaneness. This ancient wisdom offers a profound challenge and a beautiful invitation to lead not just with our minds and our skills, but with our hearts, to rediscover the power of human connection in a world that often prioritizes the transactional over the truly relational. Take a moment today to consider your interactions. Where can you infuse a little more Ren, a little more empathy, a little more appreciation, a little more genuine human connection? Even the smallest shift can begin a powerful transformation. Confucius believed that a humane leader naturally attracts virtuous and capable people, creating a positive feedback loop that strengthens the entire community or organization. Virtue is not left to stand alone, he said. He who practices it will have neighbors. The absence of Ren often leads to high turnover, low morale, and a culture of every person for themselves. People don't leave bad companies. They often leave leaders who fail to make them feel valued, respected, and cared for. Leaders who lack Ren. Leadership infused with Ren is not about being popular. It's about being principled and profoundly human. Popularity can be fleeting, but respect earned through integrity and genuine care endures. This is the kind of influence that truly matters. When leaders prioritize Ren, they are investing in the most valuable asset of any organization, its people. This investment yields returns not just in productivity, but in loyalty, innovation, and a shared sense of purpose that is truly priceless. The call to cultivate Ren is a call to elevate leadership beyond mere management, to transform it into an art of fostering human flourishing. It is a journey towards becoming the kind of leader people willingly follow, trust implicitly, and remember with gratitude. This journey starts with a simple, yet profound, internal shift, a decision to see leadership as a service, and to prioritize the well-being and growth of others as a central tenet of that service. From this empathetic foundation, all other humane actions naturally flow. Imagine a world where more leaders embraced Ren. Workplaces would be more inspiring, communities more cohesive, and societies more just and compassionate. This is not a utopian dream, but a possible reality if each person in a position of influence chooses this path. The wisdom of Confucius, though ancient, speaks directly to the heart of modern leadership challenges. The missing ingredient is often not more skill or strategy, but more humanity, more Ren. It's the quality that connects, inspires, and ultimately defines true leadership. So the one quality leaders are missing is Ren, that profound, empathetic humaneness that sees the value in every individual and strives for their well-being. It is the quiet strength that builds trust, fosters loyalty, and inspires greatness in others. Cultivate this within yourself, whether you lead a nation, a company, a team, or simply your own life. For in nurturing Ren, you not only become a better leader but a more complete and compassionate human being, contributing to a more humane world. The journey of leadership is long, and its true measure is not found in momentary triumphs, but in the lasting positive impact on others. Ren is the compass that ensures this journey is one of integrity, compassion, and enduring value. Remember the wisdom of Confucius. The strength of a nation, an organization, or a team begins with the character of its leaders. And at the heart of that character must be Ren, humaneness, the vital quality that breathes life into leadership. May you seek it, cultivate it, and express it in all your endeavors. For in choosing Ren, you choose a path of leadership that not only achieves but also uplifts, inspires, and endures. This is the timeless key to truly impactful influence. Reflect on this. Where in your sphere of influence can the gentle strength of Ren make the most difference today? The answer may be closer and simpler than you think, waiting only for your conscious, compassionate attention. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Confucius's wisdom on leadership. May the principles of Ren guide you towards a more fulfilling and impactful way of leading and living.